everyone! So today we're going to be looking at how to make a vinyl stencil using your Cricut. There's a couple methods that you can use to do this, so I'll show you a few different ways. So for the first method, you can come to text and just type in any sort of text that you'd like, and you can just do a simple stencil using just a simple word or a couple words you can do. So that is one method that you can use. You can also come over to images, and you can use an image that has already been put into the Cricut library. So I like this one, so I would select that one, and then I'm going to move it over here since I'm doing multiple. And then you can use an image that's already been made that's in the Cricut library. Okay, so there's two different types of stencils that you can do. And the last one, if you have like a custom image that you want to do, you can add it into the into your own library kind of. So I have all of these that I have collected kind of. You do have to be careful with copyright on these. So you can't just take something off the internet. You have to either make sure that it's free from copyright or that you've paid for the license for it. So if that's the case for these, they're either free or free from copyright, or I've purchased the license. Okay, so I can select an SVG image, and I can choose whatever image I like that I have, and I can upload it into Cricut Design Space to be able to use it. You do want to use an SVG image, and if you have something that's not an SVG image, you can just go online and convert anything to an SVG image. So I've loaded it in there, and here's some just other ones that I had done before. I'm actually going to use this one that I uploaded earlier because I just like the design better. And sometimes it'll come in really big like this. That's no big deal. Just scroll. You need to find the corners, and then when you find the corner, you can just make it the size that you want. So no big deal there. And so now I have that third different type of image that I got from a different spot. So those are some different ways that you can get your images. And then once you have your image in there, you can go ahead and you'll print it with your Cricut, and I will show you the process for how to do that next. Okay, so there's a few tools that you'll need to do this. You're going to need a Cricut mat, and this doesn't have to be Cricut brand, but just a mat that's compatible with your Cricut. You're going to need some transfer tape, and you're going to need some removable vinyl. Doesn't matter what color, you can use what color you like. I usually use this gray because you can get it in a large pack, so it saves you some money. But that's what you'll need. You'll need a scraper tool as well, and you'll need a vinyl weeder for after you have cut your stencil. So you're going to take your vinyl and just put it on your mat. And the biggest thing here is just make sure that you have the area covered. And then you'll take your scraper and you'll just make sure it's on there. You want to make sure there's not any bubbles when you're doing this in your vinyl. So just make sure you've got it on nice and even. That's pretty good. Especially when you're starting out, it's better to have too much than not enough. So it's okay if you have a little bit more than what you need. Okay, so that's on there real good now. And then you're just going to put this into your Cricut and cut it out. Alright, so I've cut out those designs, and my next step is to take my weeder tool, and I'm going to weed out whatever pieces I don't need. So for this love one, I'm going to weed out the letters but I'm going to leave like any inner pieces need to stay. Okay. And then same for this one. I'm going to weed out all of the letters. And you do kind of have to think when you're weeding about what you want your final stencil to have on it. So I'm weeding out the letters. So if I was to go use this stencil, then what would show up on the stencil, like if I used it to paint, what would show up would be everything that I weeded out. Okay, so there's one option, here's another option. Now on this one, I'm going to do it a little different. Instead of weeding out the letters, I'm going to weed out the shape. So I'm going to do the opposite of what I did on the other ones. And when you do it this way, you're going to do the exact opposite. So I need to also weed out the centers of the letters, which is the piece that I had left on the other ones. Okay, so I weeded out all those centers on that one. So on this, when I go to use this as a stencil, what would show up is all these pieces that I filled out. Okay, so once you've got everything weeded out how you want, you're going to take your transfer tape, and this is actually quite a bit more than I need. Okay, and then you're just going to peel off the back of your transfer tape. Okay, and I've done that, and then you're going to take your weeder tool and just go over that, and you want to go over this as much as possible. So you can't really go over it too much, but you can definitely go over it not enough. Okay. So that's pretty good, and I'm actually applying quite a bit of pressure when I do this. Okay, so I've got that on, and now I can peel off my vinyl off of this. And you want to peel off so there's a backing. You want to peel off the whole thing. Don't just peel off the vinyl top. Okay, so I've got that done. I don't need my mat anymore. And then now I can cut these out and make them into individual sections. Okay, so I've now got 3 different stencils that I could use. And the way I would use this, I typically use mine on wood, but it doesn't have to go on wood. It can go on whatever you want it to go on. So I would take my wood sign, and you peel off the very backing, and when you do this you want to go very slowly. You want to make sure that all of these little pieces stay attached to the transfer paper. So if I was going to use this, I would peel off the back, that back white section, and the best way I've found to do that is to hold it on a flat surface, and then you're going to peel back just very slowly. And you're going to try to peel back as flat with the surface as you can, if that makes sense. So I'm peeling back like that. And when you peel back, you want to make sure that all of your vinyl stays attached to the transfer tape. Okay, so I would peel all of this back. Okay, so now I've got my vinyl and it's attached to the transfer tape. And then you center it however you would like it to be. So if I wanted to, could do it like that. And then you would just take your scraper tool, scrape it on, just like you did when you were putting it on the mat. So scrape it on, get it really adhered, and then you'll pull back your transfer tape, and then you'll be left with the vinyl stencil on your product or whatever you're making on your project. And then you can use, I use mine with paint, so I paint around. I use a little sponge and I paint, and then you're good to go. So that is how you can make a stencil using your Cricut and vinyl. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. If you did enjoy it, leave us a comment down below, or you can like and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching Deb's Joyful Designs. Bye guys.